What's going on with the people? My people. Assalamu alaikum to the people. I see that. Look, Busterville, California. BET weekend. Me and the brothers, the Muslims, we got an assignment. We got to be out, with the after party, escorting certain individuals. I ain't going to tell you who, but we got some gigs jumping off tonight. Good money, too, man. I don't mind doing that. But you know what's always a alhamdulillah. You see this right here? This is a alhamdulillah. You know, I've been downtown all morning. I've been to CCB, criminal court building today. I've been to the federal building today. Uh, I even stopped by. It's all good, bro. I got to go to do assignment later on tonight. After do certain parties and stuff with certain dudes, man, that's out here. Me and some of the brothers, some of the Muslims. We got some assignments. We jumping off. I'm just chilling until I got to go over there, change my clothes, and put on my gear. And y'all know the business. But I had court today, not me, but little bro had court today, and it went pretty well. Alhamdulillah. I don't look for them to make a decision um, right away, but everything like panned it out the way it's supposed to pan it out. Some dudes came to court, and the ones that lied on him, retracted their statements and stuff like that. And I'm gonna see on how that's gonna go. So I'm gonna see how that's gonna happen. On that particular side, with little bro. And it's amazing, man. Like when they was reading that stuff off, and they brought up George Williams, they brought up Nutty on how basically they was just basically exposing on how this dude was an informant before he even came over there in the Crenshaw district. Um, they were saying that he caught certain cases, he supplied certain guns on different murders, and all that type of stuff. Man, it's crazy, man, on how dudes will lie tell, to try to get somebody program time, um, get somebody locked up, man. But um, they were just basically, breaking certain stuff down. This is what I believe. I believe that they know my little bro didn't do that, and I think they're trying to find a systematic way for him to get free. But I don't think they're trying to pay him because he was innocent all along. So I think that's going to be his biggest hurdle. I hope it's not like that, but like I tell him, man, it's nothing like freedom, man. If they ever come to you with that particular type of offer, man, fuck that conviction, man. Get out here. We can get to the bag, We don't worry about that. And this is why I don't expose on what I do in this totality, on what I have going on, because these dudes don't know nothing. These dudes just sit there and they think they know you, but they really don't know you, you know. So I was always taught to keep, you know, your information close to your chest and not let everybody know what you basically got going on. And I also went to the federal building today. Me and my family went up there to take care of some business on on these certain situations on these Negroes, which is alhamdulillah for that. And we're gonna make them pay for that. The line on little bro, talking about he was a fag. The line on me, talking about I got Big U in jail and all that type of stuff. So all that's gonna trickle down, down the line. And dudes be thinking that um, I don't have to file no police report, but I will though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But I don't stop my family from doing it. My family is more devastated behind certain things and certain actions been said about behind little bro. And then my family is more, it's like in have a problem with the two individuals was in the Crenshaw district that was over there on that podcast, and they let them dudes sit there and lie on little bro. But I told my family, man, it is what it is. Them dudes is biased. Them dudes don't give a shit. They never gave a shit about our family. And that's just what it is. It don't take a rocket science to figure that out. And that's why I don't give a shit about, I'm not gonna say I don't give a shit about none of them dudes over there, because I do have some buddies over there, but I don't give a shit about their politics, their culture, um, their structure, or nothing like that. So, and but it was always, good to see that Lil Bro have a way out without these dudes even helping him. And it's amazing, man, on how, the boy Petey Wack, he took a deal on the case. He took 24 years, and all they wanted him to do was to say Lil Bro wasn't there. Once he wasn't there, he wouldn't even do that, bro. And that irks the shit out of me. It bothers me. It's like, man, when we was growing up, we always made sure we go back and get our people, and we don't leave them stuck up in there and things of that nature. But the boy Petey Wack, he act like he has a problem with that. And this is why I know it was a pack of them dudes. They made this pack. I'm not gonna say all their names, but I know who they are. They made this pack where they made sure that Lil Bro was gonna ride that case, and they didn't give a shit about him. Because I'm gonna tell you, like I always tell you guys, when you go to jail, you become an afterthought. You know, the only ones gonna look out for you, the only ones that's gonna take care of you, or the only ones gonna miss you is your family. Your homies is not gonna miss you like that. You know, uh, and that's just what that is. That's the ultimate reality. And you have a lot of them brothers, man, about that section, man, that's inside that penitentiary. You know, um, they become an afterthought. Because I talked to some of them dudes. I talked to Big C Dog, and he said the same thing. He says the same thing, and it's like a different type of rage that them brothers have, because them brothers been solid. Them brothers, solid. I don't know how solid, because I don't have that solid definition. Is basically something that I don't agree with. But in their mind, they kept it solid. In my mind, um, we basically did some stupid shit. We got ourselves in harm's way. We put ourselves in trouble, and we stupid at that particular time until you come into a state of consciousness. You know, and that's just what that is. But other than that, them brothers don't give a shit about you up in there, man. And these dudes, they literally, these dudes literally think that you're supposed to keep everything hood or everything ghetto and all that old type of stuff. See, once you start elevating and you outgrow that shit, you don't care about that, what they talking about. You don't care about none of that stuff. Once you become a full-fledged civilian, the rules don't apply to you anymore. And I've tried to tell dudes this over and over and over again. Man, them rules don't apply to everybody, man. You know, these dudes think that if somebody come up there and blow somebody head off in your family, that you're supposed to be quiet. Nah, man, it's like it's not the 80s and 90s no more, bro. And where I'm going with this is like, you can't spin the block no more. You can't Millie rock no more, bro. It's too much technology, man, out here. You can't do shit. You know, you basically can't do nothing, and that's just what it is, man. These dudes want you to be somewhere they don't want to be, that you don't want to be. They having something out here tonight. I don't know what they having out here tonight, but it's only cracking though, man. It's like it's a bunch of events even over here on this beach area in Busterville, California. There's a bunch of events jumping off. This whole parking lot is full. You got a lot of people on this beach right here. Let me see, can I get it over there? Yeah, they got something going on over there. It's just like a lot of stuff is jumping off, man. And I encourage people to be safe. If you drinking, smoking, be careful, man, because the highway patrol out in droves. Um, just be mindful of what you're doing out here. But I believe that we had a good day today, and I believe that it's not going to be too long um, before Lil Bro is free. I also heard one of these idiots talking about. Now I haven't did no push-ups today, bro. I've been busy today. I'll get them in tomorrow. What's up, brother, man? What's up, young? Um, nah, I didn't do no push-ups today, bro. I might do some, man, but I have a busy day today, man. So um, I get them in tomorrow. You know, I go to the gym and I get them things in tomorrow. You know, I do need 1 day off. I just can't do them every day, all day, every day. But I heard one dude, like I was saying, I heard one dude said that I'm out here working to get little bro free, right? And I laughed at that because I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. I have a wealth of information if I wanted little bro free. And I wouldn't have waited this long. I wouldn't have waited 39, 40 years to get him free, bro. I would have been got him free. You know, so this is where common sense comes in, you know, where people don't have common sense. These dudes, they'll sit there and they'll say anything and everything to basically to get you to believe that they're right and you're wrong. But look, I don't care, man. I don't give a shit what you think about me, man. I really don't. You know, I don't have a problem. You know, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. See, that's the problem with brothers, man. They be scared to let people know if they standing on something. They don't want people to know that they're standing on something, and they want to go down this particular road and this particular road and stuff like that. I always say this: if you come up here messing with me and I'm minding my business, if you come in my space, you mess with me, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, and I'm gonna send you somewhere where you don't want to be. You know, because 9 times out of 10, when you're dealing with these dudes now, bro, if a dude push up on you and you beat the shit out of him, he becomes the victim. And these dudes will trick you off the streets. And this is how these dudes is playing the game. These dudes, a lot of these dudes and on this internet don't, and this is why I tell people, um, man, don't listen to a lot of these dudes on this internet, man, because they're not really built like that, bro. Every dude on this internet, bro, don't really want no problems, bro. You know, because they wouldn't be on the internet. These dudes don't want no problems. These dudes act like they tough and have this particular type of persona, but they really don't have that, bro. Because I'm gonna tell you like this, like me, I don't care about the persona. I don't care about the rep, the persona, or none of that type of stuff. Because I've been there and done that already when I was a kid. I don't want that because when I was a part of that and I had that, it displaced me from society for so many years that I made a choice that I don't never want to be a part of that anymore. See, these dudes, they don't want to be a part of that, but they on the internet portraying that they're a part of that. They be literally be on the internet thinking that you can't sue nobody. If somebody do something to you or to your family, they'll say, man, oh man, you can't do that. That's snitching. Nah, nigga, that's not snitching. You can sue anybody and everybody who you want to sue, bro. And this was wrong with these dudes, bro. They be want you just to be this a dummy. They want you to be stagnating. They just want you to be inside the United States ghettos for the rest of your life. There's no elevation in their mentality, in their movement, in their levelness, or nothing like that, bro. And they just want to, that shit been played out over and over and over again, bro. I don't get these dudes. And this is why when I be hearing certain dudes, they be asking me about 600, and they be like, bro, 600 ain't from the hood. I was like, man, I don't give a shit if he was from the hood or not. I didn't meet him as no 60. I met him as a civilian, and I treat him as a civilian. You know, he moves around. He's legit. He has gun license. He has this and he's that. So I treat him as he's a civilian. I treat him as my partner. He's a civilian. You know, we're not out here talking about, at least sometimes he do, he just be trolling, but we're not out here pushing on hood, on the dead homies and all this and all that. I think that's the most stupidest thing on the planet Earth. You know, when we was growing up, we had a brother man named Lil Mump around there, and basically he was the glue to all of us when I first came around there. He was the glue to us, man, because he treated us all fair and all the same. You know, everybody else, they was on some bullshit, but not Lil Mump. So when Lil Mump got killed, everybody used to prove their point, they used to put it on Lil Mump. That's on Lil Mump. That's on Lil Mump. So sometimes you knew some dudes was being sincere when they used to put it on Lil Mump because Lil Mump was one of the ones over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know why he was given a pass, bro. I don't know. I don't give a shit why the nigga was given a pass. Man, a lot of dudes was given a pass. I'll get to that in a minute. So when you're dealing with, with the name of Lil Mump, but you don't see that anymore. You don't see dudes trying to put it on Lil Mump anymore, man, because they know the severity behind that. So they what they do is, I'm talking about the brothers in the Crenshaw area, they'll say on the dead homies or on hood, but they still be sitting there lying and all that type of shit. So that right there is like a cliche to me because everybody said they'll make a word, they'll say, I'm going to the store on the dead homies. What is that shit? Um, they'll say some shit, I'm going on my girl house on hood. Man, that shit is I don't know where the vocabulary came in at with that right there. That is something new to me. I don't know the verbiage of that. Like I don't even know about the hood days. I don't know nothing about that. I can't speak to that. You'll never hear me speak to that because we never had that. Our hood day was every day, all day, every day. It just wasn't, one particular day or something like that. But yeah, it meant something back then, but it don't mean anything now. This stuff doesn't mean anything anymore. But and to this brother question right here, he said, why was Dale Dog given a pass in the pen and he was playing with punks? Hey man, that's a good question, bro. Let me tell you something about that, bro. It's just not the brothers from the Crenshaw district. It's everybody, man, from everybody's section, man, that delve off in that type of stuff, bro. And this is why I was explaining the other day, man, when he was on that video, it was like, bro, the penitentiary is a microcosm society. It's small. If you get boo bopped off a yard, bro, it spreads like wildflower from pen to pen to pen to pen. If you up in there doing some stupid shit, it spread from pen to pen to pen to pen. If you mess with one of them boys, it spread from pen to pen to pen to pen. So one thing about that penitentiary, certain things are frowned upon, and that's one of the things that's frowned upon. But do dudes hold dudes accountable for that? No. Maybe now, but back then, no. But I do know that when I was there and it was 1998, that some brothers got into it with some other brothers on the yard behind a homosexual. I'm not gonna say what set they was, but if you know, you know. Um, one of the brothers, one of them keyways killed another brother behind the bussy, behind the butt. So what happened then, all the brothers I was in Calipatra, I was on B yard, and the brothers was on A yard. So what we did was we communicated with each other, and we made sure that all them dudes, all the homosexuals, got off the level 4 yard. That very day, that happened when another brother killed somebody behind the butt. We made sure that we wrote up all the homosexuals off the yard. We didn't smash down on them or nothing like that because you don't have to. We just pushed up on them and like, man, get the hell up out of here. And they got up out of here, got up out of there. And then you had they cellies, some of them dudes, they cellies was perplexed at that time because these dudes be in love with these dudes, man. You was in building 4 and 2? Yeah, okay. So a lot of was you there in 1998 when I'm talking about? So what happened, some of these guys that was in the cell with these dudes, yeah, Calipat, I know. They was perplexed. So when they was perplexed, they wanted to leave with their cellies. Oh yeah, you came right after that. 2006 to 2009. Okay, right. I got okay. You was there when they rolled me up off the yard then. Yeah, when the police came and got me and took me off the yard, and I went on A. So you must was there when I went on A yard and did that demonstration. So that's when that happened. We got rid of them dudes. So all the level 4s had got rid of them dudes because one particular brother had 2 weeks to the house and he caught a murder behind some butt, man. I'm telling y'all, man, this is some real shit, man. That shit is powerful. Just like pussy is powerful, I feel that the butt is powerful too because dudes be literally attached to the person that they intimate with, and for the life of me, I don't know why brothers do that. I don't know. I don't question it, but I just know there's something that I'm not gonna do. Me and a lot of other brothers don't gonna do. I know a lot of brothers that do that stuff, did that stuff, but I don't say nothing to them. I don't say nothing about them because, bro, it's like this. If you ain't saying nothing about me or little bro, I don't care. Maybe you were just going through whatever you was going through and you finally found yourself and stuff like that. But that is an eerie type feeling. And what's scary is like brothers come home and they get with these females, and these females don't even know what time it is. And then sometimes it'll be in the air, because dudes know everything, it'll be in the air, but dudes don't never try to validate that stuff. It does because I think dudes be scared to validate that. If you're in that gang culture, man, it's a lot of stuff that's not gonna be spoke on. It's a lot of stuff gonna be swept up under the rug. It's a lot of things, man, that a lot of people is not going to basically come to grips with. Now, I don't have a problem with the Rainbow Coalition, their community or nothing like that. I don't have a problem with that at all. Period. To each his own. But however, don't force that on them. She always here, all day. Every time I come here, she's here. Um, I don't know why dudes do that, you know, but that's just what it is, man. But today, man, I think I had a good day today. Alhamdulillah for that. There's in Islam, Allah says they plot and plan, but Allah is the best of planners. You know, these dudes plot and planned on me and little bro, but Allah is the best of planners, and everything is starting to trickle down and fall down in its place. And in a minute, I'm gonna know everybody and everything that was behind everything that was going on. I already knew, no, I already know who was behind little bro, who did that shit behind little bro. I know that in detail. I just don't speak on it. I don't say nothing to these dudes. Are they bitch ass niggas? Yes, for sure, for sure. And see, these dudes have to be careful, man, because I'm not infallible. I'm not the type of dude, man, that I want any problems. I'm not gonna push up on you or nothing like that. But I will snap though. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So I try to keep that dude. My page say Big Eddie Boy One TV, but I try to keep that dude in a bottle, in a genie of a bottle. And I'm Abdul Aziz. I represent Abdul Aziz. But it's like they don't know, bro, that it's easy for a brother to turn it. That's the easiest thing to do because I was trained for that. Square up, son. Man, I'm not gonna square up, man. I'm not gonna do nothing. See, the thing is, like, a lot of things, man, what a lot of people got to realize too, bro. It's like when you try to bring harm to another individual, you can find yourself in that courtroom. Cause I was in the courtroom all day, bro. I was like, dang, man, I remember that I used to be on the other side. I was seeing defendants coming up in there, and I used to be on that side. But now I observe on this side. And then the stuff that I hear that the prosecutors be having, some of it may be true, some of it may be bullshit. Some of it, dudes is lie telling and dudes they run a maneuver, they put in the thing. And I watched the prosecutor today try to trick up the dude that was testifying for my brother on his behalf, and he would just try to trick him up. And I was laughing, but the brother did a good job. He didn't let him trick him up or anything like that. But I see their strategy. I see what they do. They try to discredit you on every level just because they want a conviction. They don't care if you did it or not. They just want a conviction. That's how the system is. They don't care if you did it or not. They just want a conviction. And it's like even when you file these motions, um, when you file these motions, it doesn't mean that you have a win. Oh, it's a win-win motion, right? I seen Big U's paperwork the other day, and they granted him a motion for another judge to hear certain motions on his behalf. Okay, they did that. However, You have people saying it's a big win, but they're not looking at everything in depth. This is what these people don't look at, man. And they don't keep it a buck. The system, like the judges, all the judges in cahoots with each other. They all know each other. The prosecutors, the judges, even some of the public defenders. They all in cahoots with each other, man. They'll give you a win on something like a little bitty motion, but they're gonna deny everything else. So we don't know if they're gonna deny the suppress motion for the wiretaps. We don't know if they're gonna deny um, the discovery, but I believe they're supposed to give them the discovery. But the wiretap, that's his biggest issue. Now, if they deny that, that's not if they deny that, and by him going to another judge, it's not a big win. You know, it's not a big win. And so I be tripping off dudes on how they try to basically make things like he got something huge done. That's not huge, bro. When you get something huge done, that means they're gonna dismiss the wiretaps. Once they dismiss the wiretap, if they do dismiss the wiretap, now that will be huge. That will be super, super huge. But at this point right now, man, that stuff ain't huge. What he's doing is he following the motions. He's setting himself up for appeal. I already see that, man. And I see what's going on. And like I tell dudes all the time, man, I pay attention to his case. I don't like the dude, man. And I keep it a buck. But I'm not gonna sit there and I don't lie on the dude. But I don't see him coming up out of that situation at all, man. I don't see that. It's just too much going on. It's too many people starting to come forward. It's just too much, man. It's just a wealth of information. They don't want them out here on the streets, bro. And that's just what it is. And these dudes can't haven't came to grips with that. It's a lot of brothers really haven't came to grips with that. But a lot of brothers has, and a lot of brothers haven't. You have his minions, the dudes that's in rocking with him, the dudes that love him and stuff like that. They haven't come to grips with that to the point where, man, that dude did some fucked up shit. He put himself up in there. He got caught on that phone talking about a whole lot of shit. Um, he got caught up with the extortion and the robbery. Even if it's a lie, they still gonna try to push that shit on. So it's just a lot going on, man. And we can speculate all we want to, but the facts are what the facts are going to be. And that's what dudes gonna do. They're gonna speculate. They're gonna tell you, "Oh yeah, man, this is happening. And it's not happening like that, bro." I've been there, done that, man. See, these dudes, a lot of these dudes ain't never had no cases like that. Me, I didn't have cases like that. Did I come up out of them? Yes. I don't know how, by alhamdulillah, I came up out of it. But it was like different cases at different times. I'm already convicted him. Nah, not yet. Do I think he got a chance of beating it? No, I don't. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. It's just too much information. It's just too much evidence against it. It's a wealth of information against him. So have I convict him? Nah. Did they help convict my brother? Yes, they did that shit. See, that it's like it's a story that people don't know, and we laid it out on YouTube already. And dudes still try to say, "Oh man, fuck all that shit." He signed up for that. Nah, nigga, you don't. My brother didn't sign up to get lied told on. My brother didn't sign up to get replaced for another individual, um, and shit like that. So I'll let you people think what y'all want to think. Busterville finance in the building. Yeah, man, I'm Busterville, bro. I love it, man. I love it out here, bro. Um, it's peaceful. There's no selective politics. I ain't gotta try to be tough and rough and all that old weird shit. You know, I don't have to be worried about nobody telling me what to do and how should I do it and how should I speak and how should I walk and how should I don't have to worry about nothing like that. Even though when I was a part of that stuff, bro, I never did worry about that because I was all my own. I was always my own man, and I wasn't a boy, man. And I always stood on my own. It's like, and that goes for a lot of us over there, bro. And I trip off how dudes have this perception that that dude was the leader over there, bro. He was never the leader over there. No, you ain't in the I'm the I'm the general, I'm the CEO. Right, 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 right. What'd you say? You said, but even when it is said and done, you and Lil Eddie like bang in them people heads. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. You know, what it is, what it is. At this particular point, I just know Lil Bro went to with the court today. You know, and that was always a alhamdulillah. I seen him on the screen. Um, and it's always like that. I know he's gonna get free. Um, I see the motion because he got like two more coming down the pipeline, and they ain't gonna have no choice but to free him. So, and my thing, like I said, I have a bad taste in my mouth because his so-called homies didn't try to help him get free. Man, I have a bad taste about that. Um, these dudes act like they don't know moms, they don't know pops, and we know all each other families. We slept on each other's floors. Our mothers and fathers and fed all of us and all that type of stuff. And I trip off these dudes, man. These dudes act like they just don't have no type of compassion, no type of nothing. And they be acting like they just, that's why I be like, man, I wish one of you Negroes would, bro. And I ain't even gonna lie, man, I have a problem with that. That's why I stay away from that because I snap. I don't go to no funerals. Even if I wanted to, probably see somebody there and just snap. I just don't put myself in harm's way because I feel that little bro got dealt with an injustice type situation, and these dudes don't give a shit, and it's like a certain type of rage for me. You know, that's why I don't give a shit. That's why I really don't. I really don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I don't care how many you guys are or nothing like that. But that's just what it is. I got to get up out of here. BET weekend. I'm going to some after parties, not to to mingle or nothing like that, but protect a couple of people. And me and the Muslims, yeah, we get hired doing stuff like that. Real good money, free money. But hey, y'all be safe. Be careful. It's wartime. Assalamu alaikum.